What's going on, crypto people? Thumbs up if you can see me and you can hear me. Am I coming through loud and clear? What's up, Joe Sheridan? What's up, Doomy? What's up, Jeffrey? What's up, David Watkinson? We got a bunch of investment club members here. What's up, Jessica? Good to see you. Gene, James Baker Co. Good to see you, brother. We got Darwin in the house. Carol Gerard, nice to see you. Marianne, nice to see you. Ulrich, Desmond. It's like a party here. I mean, it's like a crypto party, Martini. Good. I appreciate everybody showing up. It's a sunny day in London, as you can tell. I mean, we don't usually see like rays of sunlight coming through this city, but it's a warm day, maybe hot, 26, 27 degrees, which if you're in America means it's freezing. But if you're in Europe, it means it's kind of hot. If you're in London, that's very hot. I was in Turkey last week and it was like 35, which I guess is like in the 90s. But Martini has everybody beat in Vegas where it's like 40 some degrees. And so, look, we're here because there's a lot of things going on in crypto right now that nobody's talking about. And this is what happens in a market as big as crypto. Now, look, about a week ago, Bitcoin broke down about $2,000 and everyone was like, what the hell's going on here? Has everybody seen the recent like small drop in Bitcoin that came out? And so everyone just seems, oh, the market's all doing bad. That's never true because there's so many different protocols. There's so many layer one, layer two, layer zeros out there. There's so many different projects that even though the whole market might be slightly down, inside of that, there are superstars. They're a thing making big moves and making big money. And so as any market, if you choose the right project, the right index, the right protocol, the right token, there's actually plenty of money to be made. And that's what I want to talk about today. Does that make sense to everybody here? Just wave your hand if it does. And again, look at the stock market. Right now, NVIDIA, the AI chip maker, is like absolutely crushing it, right? In a lot of ways, it's actually what's keeping tech really hot right now. And if you look at all the other companies out there, there's no major performers. So again, it's always important to realize that individual situations can make you a lot of money if you know what to look for. Now, when the crypto market comes around, and we believe that's going to happen very soon, first of all, the Bitcoin halving's coming up. Second of all the indices are showing that Bitcoin is way oversold. Matter of fact, they've never seen Bitcoin as oversold as it is in the history of tracking prices of Bitcoin. Does that make sense to everybody here? Now, what does oversold mean? It looks like the selling breaks all of the trends and all of the indexes like RSI, et cetera. And what does that mean? It looks like somehow a bunch of people had to come in and synthetically liquidate positions, but that doesn't jive with the longer term. And so quite honestly, and also the halving's coming up in about 7-8 months. This is what happens every single time before the halving. It drops down and then it pops right back up. And the rally that usually happens is happening within the next 30 to 60 days. Now, just because it's happened in the past doesn't mean it's going to happen in the future. But what you're seeing right now is not like a big surprise for anyone. And so the people that really are keen now and focus on the right projects are the ones that are going to make a ton of money when everyone else is running for the hills. Does that make sense to everybody here? What's the great line? They say, when there's blood on the streets, you buy real estate. Has anyone ever heard that line? Right? I watched Inside Man, that Spike Lee film, on the way back from the plane. And there's like a bank robbery, and Jodie Foster's in that movie. She's amazing. And so is Christopher Waltz, who was in Sound of Music. And she says that because they're these super wealthy people who basically, when everything was bad in the world, they bought, right? They bought assets. And those are the people that create great fortunes. They're not the ones that buy when everyone's buying. Does that make sense to everybody here? Right. So if you're buying Bitcoin in 21, when it's going to 69,000, at the same time, your grandma's buying it, the taxi cab driver's buying it. When that's happening, it's a good sign it's about to dump. And so what we're doing right now behind the scenes, and I'll share with you a few details, not too many, is we have been building and buying during the crypto winter. And that way, when it's summertime, we're going to be like that squirrel that was working in the winter. Does everybody remember that fable, right? We were storing away those nuts, right? And what was it? The crickets, Martini? The crickets were out there playing and screwing around and swimming in the pond. And they're like, why do you work so hard? And the squirrel's like, yeah, whatever. I'm storing nuts. That's like us. We've been doing this for 12 months. When the bull market pops and Bitcoin goes to 35,000, 45,000, 55,000, we're going to be laughing because we have been positioning ourselves behind the scenes. And so I wanted to talk to you today about a really interesting protocol that's happening right now on a layer 2, and I'll explain what that is, called Base, that's built by Coinbase. but it's just another example that individual projects can make a lot of money, even if the overall market is trending down. Everybody with me here so far on that? Yeah. By the way, we're about to put $400,000 into what I've seen is the hottest metaverse project of all time, backed by Animoca Brands. It's going to be launching itself on something called the BRC20 blockchain, which is a Bitcoin protocol that really hasn't been used yet. And we are actually about to close a token round of, like I said, $400,000 right now behind the scenes. So I'm talking to you about this one tech, but we're doing a bunch of these deals behind the scenes. I try not to talk about them publicly, so you won't hear me talking about this on YouTube or anywhere else. I'll mention it tonight. But what we like to do is I talk about it once I close the deal. And so we're doing that right now. And like I said, when these tokens are issued in the next few months, you'll probably see a lot of our investment club people, buying expensive things. So if you see a bunch of the members in here flying private, rolling up with ice, you see Joe rolling up with the ice, the new necklaces and stuff. That's why. All right. They're not trying to be flashy. They just got so much money. They don't know what to do with it. All right. So forgive them. Is everybody clear? Just forgive them a little bit. All right. Well, we'll try to keep it down the DL here. I want to jump in and talk about one of the bright spots out there. And look, I don't know how short-lived this is going to be, but I do believe that we need to look for these things and evaluate them as well. So I'm going to drop this presentation. As you know, I love seeing faces. You know what I mean? I need to see faces. If I'm here on a sunny day, I feel like you guys should be here as well. And so I see a few people like Eddie and Andy and Herman and Jason Morgan and Lorena and Mike Kennedy. And I mean, I got this twitchy trigger finger, and sometimes I throw you out of the group. So Martini, tell me if there's anybody I shouldn't look at it. And Martini told me it's the ant and the grasshopper story. Is it? Okay, I'll trust you on that one. But I got a twitchy trigger finger, so sometimes I throw people out. So Lorena, oh, I just slipped. Lorena, you're gone. And Marsha, I just slipped and you're gone too. So I'm just going to toss you out. If anybody else wants to say, just turn your cameras on and let's do this, because I'd love for everybody just to be with us. I'm going to rock and roll here. Is everybody ready to see this amazing presentation and watch these incredible videos? Okay, good. And again, folks, when the markets are quiet, when everybody else is panicking, that's when you should be doing three things. I always say that. That's when you should be investing in your education, investing in your influence, and investing in your early stage deals. That's the three things that we've been doing behind the scenes for the last 12 months. And that's how, when the market pops up, we're going to be ready to make a lot of money, because we'll be educated. We'll understand everything that's going on. We'll already have a whole network of influence, and we'll already be positioned in the deals. So not only will we make a ton of money on the deals we're in, but we'll also get the next deal, the next deal, the next deal, because we'll have a network of people out there, and we'll know exactly what's going on. So we'll understand the layer one, the layer twos, the metaverse plays, the Bitcoin chain, which has never been developed on before, will be up the curve on that. So I would just say, if you're not educated, if you don't feel like your education is good enough, find a way to learn and be ready. That's what this is all about. All right, folks, I'm going to share this thing. If you have any questions or comments, put them in the chat, and I'll answer questions at the end. Okay, how many people can see this screen here? Can everybody see this screen? Just thumbs up if you can. Okay, good. So it's called friend.tech. How many people heard of this, by the way, before my email today? Anybody here like a friend.tech? No? Okay, interesting. So it's recently, in the last 2 to 3 weeks, become this massive ether money machine as celebrities drop in and adopt this brand new platform that's actually built on a layer 2 platform that's founded and run by Coinbase, which is, there's a lot going on here, folks. First of all, Coinbase is under the gun with the SEC as they're trying to go after them, but Brian Armstrong is continuing to move forward. And this is a perfect example of how an exchange that maybe should be keeping their head low is actually deciding to go on and develop at the same time. And so again, second largest revenue maker amongst crypto protocols in just over 2 weeks. And it's got major celebrities joining this. It's, again, one of these social tech platforms. And inside the investment club, we have a CEO pitching us every single week some of the hottest deals in the world. And Martini knows, we probably see, Martini, what, 5 or 6 Web3 social platforms. What does that mean? That means like an Instagram or YouTube, where as a creator or a user, you don't get everything stolen from you. Does everyone know what I'm talking about here? Okay, now I'm in a little bit of a fight right now with YouTube, so maybe I'm a little sensitive right now. But the problem with these big social media platforms right now is you don't own your customers, you don't own your media, and they take all the money. Is everybody clear about that with platforms? Give me a thumbs up. You know what I'm talking about? Any creators here? Okay. So for example, if you're on YouTube or Facebook or say Amazon, I might be interacting with you, Jeffrey, or you, Joe, or you, Peter, or you, David, right? I might be selling to you. I might be creating content for you. You might be listening to my music. But guess what? The middleman takes out 50%, sometimes 60% of the revenue. So Amazon takes a chunk, YouTube takes a chunk, Meta takes a chunk, Apple Store takes a chunk. And it means there isn't really much money left for creators. And it means that we all get taxed. On top of that, they don't ever introduce us together. And when they want to stop us or censor us, they cut us off and we can't talk to each other anymore. So that's not a good way going forward. And so there's been a lot of companies that are trying to crack this for Web3. So there's no middleman in the middle. And friend.tech is actually looking to do something like this. It's hard to do because you need network effect. What does that mean? You need billions of people on the network. But if you can do it, it'll be a whole new world for freedom of speech, financial freedom going forward, which we're huge fans of here. So I want to talk about this app, and I want to show you how you can learn crypto and DeFi now, learn how to trade it, learn how to invest in it, because that's what we're here to do for the next 10 years here at London Real and in our academies as well. So let's jump in. Before we get started, I just want to say that this presentation is for information purposes only. It's not intended to be investment advice. If you are seeking that advice, find a duly licensed professional. Is that cool with everybody? Makes sense? Okay, good. All right, let's jump on. Let's keep going here. Here's the big news. This is CoinDesk, one of the big publications when it comes to all things blockchain and crypto. And it talked about this platform gaining 100,000 users. That's not small in days, even in the depths of this crypto bear market, right? So Bitcoin goes from 28,000 to 26,000. And all of a sudden, bam, this thing is really crushing it, okay? And again, 25 million in revenue generated by the platform since its August 10th launch. That's a lot of money, folks. That's a lot of money for a Web3 startup. So this should get everyone's attention. And we'll have to see if it's a flash in the pan or if it's trend. But this is a really healthy sign that Web3 and crypto, when it does recover, is going to recover with a vengeance. And keep in mind, behind the scenes, everyone in the world has been building. So they're ready to take advantage of the next move. What else is going on? Obviously, we're seeing these big names come in here. And again, just 2 weeks, and it's the second largest revenue maker out there when it comes to Web3. That's a big thing because it has to go up against a lot of these DeFi protocols, against OpenSea, against all these other things. And this is actually making more revenue. That's a big deal. What else? There's haters or critics, whatever you want to call them. This guy says, I give it 6 to 8 weeks. They think the hype won't last, which is natural because in crypto, there's always hype. We saw the NFT cycle happen about 18 months ago. We've seen lots of cycles. And so it's natural to question these things. But I would say this traction, it doesn't feel like it's just going to disappear right away. There must be some value add here to do this. Now, if this was a bull market and Bitcoin was going from 60,000 to 70,000, look, there's a lot of nonsense that makes money in a bull market, right? Does everyone know what I'm talking about here, right? When everything's hyped and everybody's dumping money into crypto, people just put money into those things. But in a bear market, that rarely happens. So let's see what happens. This is friend.tech, and I wanted to read with you some of the quotes and play for you a video here. But it's basically the newest crypto killer app. It's a social tokenization protocol. And again, it's been a money printer for developers. $1 million in fees, set at 5% of the value of each transaction in the past 24 hours. And again, it comes in a really short time. Beta launch August 10th, that's less than 2 weeks ago. And it racked up $8.1 million in trading platform. And it's built on Base, which is Coinbase's new layer 2. This is big stuff. And I figured I'd get a little help for a quick explanation on what's actually going on here. This is a 60-second short explanation on what's happening here with friend.tech. So take a listen and tell me what you think of this.
What is friend.tech? friend.tech is a Web3 application where users can tokenize their social profiles. Users can divide their profiles into shares and sell these shares on friend.tech. Those who buy your shares have the opportunity to chat with you. What you need to know about friend.tech. friend.tech runs on Coinbase Space Network. You need to link your X, formerly Twitter, account to create a profile. The profile holder receives a commission income of 5% for each purchase and sale of shares. Each time you buy a share, you actually create a portfolio of profiles. If the value of the profiles increases, you make a profit. David Hoffman, who has 183,000 followers on Twitter, has earned 3.12 ETH so far from transaction fees.
And there you go. What I like about this is that you can get paid from your social media traction. So for example, on YouTube right now, I've got 2.25 million followers. On Instagram, we got a couple million. On Facebook, we have 858, 900,000. But if I ever want to monetize that or sell that, do I have any chance of selling that for money? Raise your hand if you think I do, right? None. I don't, because the network won't let me sell it. This is the essence of what Web3. Web3 is digital asset ownership, which is crucial. So if you create some traction around this friend.tech profile, you can then sell it on to someone else and sell that as a digital asset. Folks, it's a complicated concept, but it's so important. If you look at all the governments that we've had in human history, they kind of trend in two different ways. There's kind of a communist socialist aspect where you own no property and the state owns everything. And then there's this kind of capitalistic way where you own your property. When you own it, you can change it, you can modify it, you can create things, you can build assets, you can create wealth. One of these ways leads to innovation. One of these ways leads to domination, shall I say. And the problem is right now in our digital space, you don't own your digital property. You don't own your browsing history. You don't own your digital assets on Facebook. You've given them to a platform and now they're selling them back to you. Does that make sense to everybody here? Just raise your hand if it's touching a few notes here, right? So these things are really a beautiful thing, what we're seeing here. And it's something that we're interested going forward. But again, I need to see network effect before I move all my socials over there. Because, I mean, this month, my videos will be watched 10 million times on YouTube. That's not going to happen on friend.tech. So again, this is what we're looking at. I want these things to work, but I also have to make sure that they're going to be the right move for our business. So this is something to keep an eye out for sure. And it's, again, a shining light in what many people would tell you, a market where there's not anything happening. So that's what's really important to think about. Just stop this for 1 second. And that's really important to kind of realize that it's happening. And from there, we can kind of then look at some of the things that are going on in crypto in general. Because like I said, between the projects that we're looking at right now, we see a lot of amazing opportunities. And if you are up to speed when it comes to crypto and decentralized finance, you can take advantage of these things. And that's what I want. I want you to be in a position where you can go ahead and pull the trigger when you see a really interesting deal. And so let me just reshare the screen again, and I'll show you what we're seeing. And I get to talk to the experts on a regular basis, and they tell me exactly what's going on in this space. And I want to share what they're actually telling me as well. So in addition to what's happening here, this is why we're expecting a big move in Bitcoin over the next few months. A lot of things are pointing there, and I'm going to share with them now. First of all, BlackRock, the largest asset manager in the world, has refiled, not filed once, but filed again for a Bitcoin ETF into the SEC. If they are successful and a Bitcoin ETF is created, we're going to see a massive surge of money into the crypto space. I'm talking about something we've never seen before. Right now, the crypto space is worth about $1.3 trillion. There's rumor that there's an extra $15 trillion just waiting to be dumped into that asset class. If that happens, does the price go up or down? Can I see your fingers? Can you point up or down here? What do we think? Yeah, okay, Jeffrey knows what I'm talking about. Up, exactly. And so let me show you a few indicators that this is about to happen. So there's that. We're seeing this new wave, right, of a potential $15 trillion earthquake that could be headed for the Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, Cardano markets. All right. Again, major banks are talking about this. Deutsche Bank, JP Morgan, major asset managers like BlackRock. It's not getting covered much in the press. I personally think there's a lot of smart money out there that's actually positioning and buying the lows here on Bitcoin. Some people even say that they're forcing the price lower so they can buy it cheaper in order to make a lot of money before year end. Anybody here believe that could be true, right? Manipulating markets? It wouldn't be the first time, all right? What else? Deutsche Bank, right? BlackRock, all these giants are accumulating Bitcoin. That's the word. And like I said, 15 trillion going into this market, you've never seen anything like it. You'll just never see anything like it. Now, when's it going to happen? That's the thing. But the halving is coming up with Bitcoin, which means the supply is going to be cut in half in April of next year. Typically, the rally begins 6 months before, and it lasts 3 months afterwards. 6 months before means it starts in October. It's going to be September next week. So you got to start to see what's going on here. This is the head of BlackRock, right? Or as I like to call him, he's the new chief marketing officer for Bitcoin, because Larry Fink went on the news recently and said Bitcoin is digital gold. Now, this is the same guy 2 years ago that said it was rat poison, alongside JP Morgan, who now recommends it to their clients. And of course, Michael Saylor here, who's been on our show twice, who has $5 billion of Bitcoin, is retweeting this out and trying to get people to pay attention to what's going on here. Is anybody else kind of surprised that the head of BlackRock with $1 trillion under management is promoting Bitcoin? It's a bit weird, right? So they're all turning around because Bitcoin is a viable asset. Bitcoin has been given the thumbs up approval rating by the SEC. It's been around the longest. It's the biggest protocol. There's no founder. There was no ICO. It ticks a lot of the boxes, and everybody wants a piece of it. And I learned one thing when I was in banking for 15 years. I started on Wall Street, went to work in Chicago, came to London. If your client wants the asset, you will get them the asset. It doesn't matter how anybody feels about it, because if you don't get it for them, some other bank will get them the exposure. And so that's what's happening right now. And I think we're going to see a major scramble for this stuff. On top of this, PayPal just launched their own dollar stablecoin. I did an entire presentation about this a couple of weeks ago. This is huge news. The fact that PayPal would do this when there's still uncertainty around regulation, it's just a big kind of up yours to all of the federal regulation right now, because they didn't wait for stablecoin regulation. They said, we're going to create our own stablecoin because we know our customers want it, and it's going to be big for business. So folks, these are all signs for me that we're headed for a big rally. And if you're positioned in the right protocol plus a rally, that's when fortunes are made. And so, by the way, here, let me just pass on here. Just wanted to say that we are currently investing now over $4 million into it's actually four crypto artificial intelligence projects this quarter. We have 4 deals outstanding now, and Martini can see me behind the scenes in the last 24 hours because I'm trying to close all of them. It's a lot of money, and we've got a lot of people that in our London Real family that want to get exposure to these deals and get rich. And so I've just been trying to coordinate all of the different investments getting locked in so we can file the paperwork and get everybody set before the market pops. And so I've been running around today just trying to get everybody into these deals. Some are token deals, some are equity deals, all these things going on. Again, big AI deal. We're putting money into $1 billion crypto blockchain infrastructure fund. We've got a big Web3 super app, and then we've got this big metaverse token play that'll make friend.tech look like a calm day in the park based on the gains that we're expecting on that. So this is what we're doing behind the scenes, and that's why I can really speak on this with authority, because it's one thing to talk about crypto. You see these podcasts where these kids talk about crypto, but like, are they investing in crypto? Are they actually interviewing the best names in the business? Are they going to the biggest conferences in the world? I'm off to Singapore next month. I'm off to Dubai the following month. I'm featured on stage. I am there representing all of the people here in crypto, and I get to talk to all of the inside people, and I get to know what's going on. And so I'm here to share that with you. This stuff, honestly, is only for a small group of London Realers that we consider our family on the inside. People that have gone through my academy, people that have joined my investment club. And those are the people that over the next 10 years, I plan on creating $10 billion of wealth for. And that's what we're doing. And so if you ever wonder what we do behind the scenes, this is it, folks. And we're pretty well versed on this. It's because of this entity right here. This is London Real Ventures. We created this 2 years ago when we started investing in Web3 blockchain artificial intelligence companies. It's the world's first media-powered investment firm. No one's ever done this before. We've taken one of the most successful media companies in the world, London Real, 12 years of history, 1 billion views, over 1,000 of the best guests in the world. We put it on top of a venture capital firm, and together we've created something that's never been done before. because of that, we're seeing the hottest deal flow in the world, because what CEO wouldn't want to get our media exposure, potentially 5 million customers and $1 million check from us in a bear market? Nobody's doing this. And so it gives us access to amazing deals. And then I can pass through that exposure to a small group of people inside of London Real. Does that make sense to everybody here? It sounds kind of simple. Don't ask me why nobody did it before, but I feel like we've got a good 12, 18 month first mover advantage on this. You see a lot of companies like VC companies starting their own podcasts, but as I know, it takes a little while to get your podcast going. As in, you think it's going to take you 2 years and it takes you 7 years. And so I think, it's going to take them a while, and we're going to take advantage of that in the meantime. These are a bunch of the companies that we've already invested in, and there's another 4 or 5 deals here that aren't even included. And this is our mission here at London Real. And this is our back wall. If you're ever here in the London studios, you'll see that everything we do here is to create a mass scale transformation of humanity into a fully empowered, conscious, and cooperative species. And we invest this way too. So we only invest in companies that we think are going to change the world for the better. Does that make sense to everybody here? It's a really beautiful place to be, because when I worked in the city of London and when I worked on Wall Street, quite frankly, folks, I didn't have that option. I had to do business with all the scumbag companies in the world and all the bad actors out there. That's what we had to do. Maybe that's why I quit. Maybe that's why it drove me to drinking. I don't know. But at London Real, we get to do the right things. And so funny enough, I'm sober. And funny enough, we get some of the greatest deals in the world, and we have the best people working with us. So it's a conscious choice we've made, but it also means that the great deals come to us because they believe in our ethos as well. And I'll share with you a couple of those deals a little bit later. I've also got these 2 fellas to look out for. And this is Caden and Damon. Caden is 7 years old. Damon is now 6, just turned 6 yesterday. And I'm looking out for them. And so I am trying to create wealth. I am trying to create a future in technology. And that includes artificial intelligence, folks, and blockchain. That's good for them, because I worry in the next 10 years that this world is going to get a little crazy and a little nasty. And I want to make sure it's the best version of the world that I can pass on to these boys. Does that make sense to everybody here? And by the way, raise your hand if you have someone that you're trying to provide for on a financial basis, maybe children or future grandchildren or grandchildren. I think it's important that we do 2 things: to provide financially, but also to help create a world that we're going to be proud of, right? I mean, does anybody here want CBDCs in the world? Do you really want your national government spying on your currency and censoring your financial transactions? I don't. So I'm working as hard as I can to make sure that these boys don't have to live in that world. I unfortunately am listening to the audiobook 1984 right now. Has anybody ever listened to that book by George Orwell? Does anybody know the concept? Raise your hand. Big Brother, right? And I'm telling you, Martini, it's a little dark. Sometimes I'm leaving the office and I'm like, I don't know if I could actually listen to this right now, because it's like dark as hell. George Orwell, actually, he lived right down the street from me in Hampstead here in London when he wrote that. But I mean, the stuff he's talking about, it's dark, folks. I mean, it's a future world where everybody's paranoid, everyone's being watched, everyone has to toe the government line, and nobody can push back. And it's a very dark world. And I'm listening to this thinking, man, this isn't going to happen. But I'm like, but wait a second. We're being constantly surveilled. You've got AI taking over, and now they want to track all of our money. Like, who we kidding, folks? Like, we have to work hard every day to prevent this from happening, because as technology comes, it's easier to do this. Now, I don't know how Orwell thought of this, because he wrote that book in the 50s, I think. I don't know how he imagined that, but he imagined the technology that we have today to surveil us. So let's just be clear, folks. We're going to have to work very hard to make sure we live in a world. But that's why we're here every day, and that's why we show up here and work hard here at London Real. And that's why on a sunny day in August, I'm here to talk to you. By the way, this is our philosophy. And this quote you'll see here is from Sun Tzu, from his book he wrote called The Art of War. And he was a general in China many, many centuries ago. And he said that every battle is won before it's ever fought. Raise your hand if you know what this means, that concept. Does anybody have a rough idea what that means? Can I just see some hands up here? What does that mean? Well, first of all, this is our philosophy here at London Real. We believe that every battle is won before it's ever fought. What does that mean? That means your preparation today guarantees your victory in the future. And your lack of preparation today, back to my ant and grasshopper story, means you're guaranteed failure in the future. And by the way, if you're listening to me now, maybe it's because you haven't created any wealth. And that's because you have not prepared in your life. And so if you want to change your narrative, if you want to change the course of your life, which is difficult to do, you're going to have to start changing your behavior, which means you need to prepare now and make sure that the battle is won before it's ever fought. You know, I don't roll dice. I don't throw darts at a board. I don't get to a situation and think, I hope we win. Let's give it a try. Let's do our best. That's a bunch of nonsense, and we all know it. The winners out there, if you look at the winners out there and the wealthy, they don't play that game. They make sure the battle is won before it's ever fought. So we prepare and work hard every single day, even when there's no contest, even when there's no reason to, even when crypto's down. We work on ourselves. We educate ourselves, we build our influence, and we build our early stage protocols. And this is how we win over time. Is that clear for everybody? This is how you will win too, if you want to do that. This, by the way, is Mark Yusko. And he is one of the biggest and most profound and proficient fund managers out there. And he's a huge fan of blockchain and crypto, right? He used to be in traditional finance and he understands Wall Street. And I think we actually have a bunch of mutual friends that I used to work with at Bankers Trust on Wall Street back in the 90s. And Mark has a really fresh way of looking at crypto. And I like talking to these guys with a little bit of gray hair because they've been around. They know the stock market, they know the bond market, but they're still smart enough to realize that this is a digital asset that is going to change the world forever. And so what I want to do is I want to play for you a short video I filmed with Mark recently. This is actually a trailer from a 2-hour conversation I had with him. And I'll be honest with you, folks, I'm very lucky because I get to talk to the best of the best on London Real. And so for 2 hours, they come and educate me. And then actually I get on DMs afterwards and they continue to tell me what's going on. And this is what Mark said to me: pay attention, because this could really change your opinion about the future of digital assets.
This idea that it's just Bitcoin, just Ethereum, no, it's the technological evolution, not revolution. What blockchain will do to financial services is what the internet did to media and commerce. But it doesn't just transfer market cap, it expands. Blockchain busts the monopoly of finance, and they make lots of money being the trusted third parties between the exchange of value. What blockchain technology does is it goes from dual entry accounting to triple entry accounting. Now you have a ledger, I have a ledger, but there's this third ledger that exists in an encrypted form permanently, immutably. We're replacing trust with truth. This fundamentally changes how humanity interacts. Why? Well, because people are realizing that when you put your money in the bank, it's no longer your money. Well, with blockchain, we don't need that. So it allows us to break the shackles. Humanity moves forward because of human creativity, human ingenuity, innovation.
You mentioned FTX. What do you think actually happened?
I don't believe Sam Bankman-Fried and Caroline were the masterminds of anything. And I think there is a much higher power that masterminded the whole thing to disparage crypto, to slow down the adoption.
You're excited. You think there's great opportunities in this market, and you're just looking forward to the next 10 years, knowing that this will all happen. It's just about how it happens.
I am incredibly optimistic. It's just so inspiring to be around people who are looking forward, who are looking for solutions and innovations. What I actually love to do is seek people with opposite views, to have dialogue and debate in search of truth. And now the problem is you're not allowed to talk to people. Left can't talk to right, up can't talk to down. No, that's what you need to do. Talk to listen and learn and discern. You may still believe what you believe and you may believe it more, but occasionally you might change your mind.
What do you think of Mark Yusko? Right? Pretty impressive, huh? I mean, it just blows my mind. I get to talk and hang out with these people and DM and behind the scenes because they're just great resources. They really understand this market. And like I said, they don't come from a crypto fanboy point of view, right? They've been around. So they're not just 2 years in the market. All they want to do is talk about the coins they've pumped. I've met a lot of those kids too. They're nice, but I also like being around people that have been in the markets for 30 or 40 years and are still bullish on this space. So that's what's exciting to me. That's what I love about it. These are my takeaways, by the way, of what Mark actually said. So takeaways from Mark are this: crypto is technological evolution, right? Evolution. It's not revolution. In his mind, this isn't something that's like was a surprise that it happens. This is an evolution of humans needing to do peer-to-peer transactions in a digital network. Does that make sense for everybody? That's a big point, right? That doesn't mean that this is something bad. This is something that's expected. The next thing he said, which is interesting, is that Bitcoin busts the monopoly of finance. What does he mean? Look, the banking system and the Federal Reserve and the central banks, they are a monopoly of money that have been stealing from you since the beginning of humankind. Every year, the banking sector takes 6 to 8% of global GDP out. They take it out, which means your savings, your net worth gets taken down 6 to 8% every single year by the banking sector. And guess what? You'll have no idea how they do it. You'll never see the fees. You won't understand. And all of a sudden, your money will be gone. That's why people put their money in a pension and they get to retire and they're like, where's all the money? Oh, yeah, you had to pay for all of our fees, right? This is how it works. But Bitcoin busts that monopoly. That makes sense to everybody here, right? And that's why they don't want it to happen, because the banking sector is the oldest racket in the business, right? I mean, I've never seen so many people, so many mediocre people making millions and millions and millions of dollars a year as in the banking industry. It's hard to explain. It's shocking, actually, but that's what happens. And they do it because they've got the best racket in the business, because all of you are completely uneducated when it comes to finance. You're completely uneducated. You don't know what's going on, and you've been taught your whole life that you're not smart enough to understand money. This is not true. And that's what we're here to do, to change that. Finally, he says crypto replaces trust with truth. Why do you want to trust an institution when you can just have truth? And that's what this is all about, folks. If you have the private keys, you own your crypto. You don't need a bank to give you permission. You don't allow a government to take it away from you. And that's absolutely crucial. So let me just continue this presentation. By the way, I wanted to share this with you as a free gift from us. This is our 8-step trading checklist that we actually give out during our Crypto and DeFi Academy in Module 4. And I spent 15 years in the banking industry, and a percentage of that trading actually in derivatives. I traded a fixed income instrument, government bonds, swaps, options, you name it. And learning how to trade is a very difficult thing. And so what I want to highlight there is number 4. Can everybody read number 4 on the screen? This is such a crucial point, and I'll read it for you. It says, once you have profit in a trade, never let it become a loss. Now, it sounds simple to say, but it's not easy to do. How many people here have ever had profit in a trade and then watched it turn into a loss? Come on, be honest. If you've owned Bitcoin over the last couple of years, you probably saw it go all the way up. And then as it went down, you had every excuse in the world not to sell it, right? Come on, who here has done that? We've all done that. Because you don't want to take a loss, right? You don't want to admit failure. The problem is that if you had sold Bitcoin when it went from 69,000 to 65, you would be right now sitting on massive amounts of profit. If you had sold it at 60, you would have been a winner. At 50, you would have been a winner. At 40, you would have been a winner. Right now, at 30, you still would have been a winner. But most of you rode your Bitcoin position right down into the toilet at 15,000 because you don't have the emotional strength. You don't have the disciplined mind in order to make sure you cut your losses and keep your money. And so this is just one of many things that we teach inside our Crypto and DeFi Academy. But remember this, one of my famous guests once said, he said, Brian, nobody ever went broke taking profits. That makes sense to everybody, right? So sometimes you want to sell that trade and take some profits and not wait for it to go up 100x, because as you're waiting, you're going to lose everything. So that's a little bit of a gift from us. Take a screenshot of that if you want. And let me continue with some of my guests. This is Dan Tapiero. He's a macro guru. He believes that Bitcoin's going to a $10 trillion market cap, right? That's a massive gain. Dan runs a $1 billion fund, and he's raising another $1 billion fund. And we are actually investing in that fund. So about 70 or 80 London realers right now inside my investment club are putting $1 million into his fund because of my relationship with Dan. It's actually an incredible opportunity that might not ever happen again. And it's something that we're all really, really excited about. And I wanted to share with you a conversation I had with Dan recently. He is one of the smartest and most accomplished and savviest people out there when it comes to blockchain. And let me say something else that a lot of people don't know about Dan. He puts his own money in the fund as well. Now, I don't know how much. I don't know if it's 50 million or 100 million, but it's a lot of money. And so when you go to put money in something, when you know the guy running it has his wealth in there as well, let's just say it's a good sign. And I like everything about Dan. I'll see him next month in Singapore. And this is him recently on London Real.
We're the only fund that focuses exclusively on blockchain and crypto business.
I still remember the conversation we had 17 months ago. You said, look, Brian, I'm not the guy that's going to get you 100x. I'm going to get you 10x. And I'm going to invest in companies with revenue. It was not what people wanted to hear when Bitcoin hit its high in November. But then fast forward 18 months, you're looking like one of the savviest investors out there.
We are investing at the growth stage. We're looking to invest in companies that are going to be able to withstand the bear phase. A company like Animoca made more revenue in 22 than in 21. Think about that for a second. You had a massive bear phase in the cryptocurrency markets, and here's a company that actually did better. Of the 26 investments, we only had one that was impaired. It was only 2.5% of total assets.
I think you had a term where you said under the hood, there's a lot going on. All of these things are growing and building. The price of Ethereum can stay the same, and they're still going to create hundreds of millions of dollars of value.
We try to pick established companies that are making big chunks of revenue because they have the flexibility to take that risk, add that business line, buy that small company that could be building the future.
You plan on just introducing synergies between all of those companies. You can create a ton of value for your portfolio companies.
We are going to be very focused on helping bring some of our companies to the public markets. 5 years from now, Coinbase is not going to be the only public crypto blockchain business in the world. 10 trillion is what I hope would be the value of the digital asset ecosystem, which is the value of all the cryptocurrencies and all the equity in the space.
Booyah. How do we feel about Dan Tapiero? Are we feeling that guy, right? Some serious energy. By the way, who here is actually investing in this deal right now in the investment club? Can I just see hands up? I know Martini is. I know David is. I know Joe Sheridan is. Okay, cool. There's a bunch of people here. Yeah, we're huge fans of him. And look, I wouldn't normally do this, but I'm just going to do this because I'm kind of excited right now. I actually just pulled up just a little bit of a sneak peek into Dan's summary deck. Can everybody see this on screen? See this kind of graph? So this is, by the way, this is Dan's deck, and it's just all these incredible. I mean, this guy it's crazy what this guy does. I mean, the analysis is off the chart, the way he looks at companies, the things they're investing in. But this chart's really interesting to me. This is comparing blockchain adoption to internet adoption. And if you look back here, he says, we're here, right? Can everybody see that? It's basically 4% adoption, which is the internet in 1998. If you look at that, eBay is just getting started. Google hasn't been created. Facebook hasn't gone public. None of that's happened, right? Amazon just started, right? That's kind of what's happening there as far as Amazon just went public. We're so early right now, 4% adoption. And he believes in the next 5 to 10 years, we're going to go from 4% right up to 24%. When that happens, this market becomes massive. And so he's investing in the bricks and mortar, the picks and shovels of the blockchain industry. Like every single company that we use inside our Crypto and DeFi Academy, Dan's invested in. By coincidence, by the way. Nano Ledger. Anybody have a Nano Ledger? He's invested in it. When it comes to options exchange Deribit, he's invested in it. Animoca Brands, biggest gaming company in the world, he's invested in it. Yuga Labs, founder of Bored Ape Yacht Club, he's invested in it. Circle, the stablecoin USDC, he's invested in it. And now we're going to be invested in it. So it just goes to show you, like, these things continue behind the scenes in these most exciting manners. And it's just giving you a little bit of a taste. But again, if you're not working on your education in the quiet moments, you're not going to be ready when a Dan pops around and says, hey, Brian, would you like in on my fund? And I'm like, yeah, we would. But because we've been educating our entire London Real network, over 1,000 people have graduated from the Crypto and DeFi Academy, they were ready to pull the trigger like that when the opportunity came up. So again, every battle is fought, every battle is won before it's ever fought. Be ready. And so make sure you can educate yourself behind the scenes. Let me continue here. Just some takeaways here from Dan is this. Animoca, one of the investments he made, by the way, made more money in 22 than in 21. Think about that, folks. 2022 last year was supposed to be the worst market for crypto, right? FTX blew up. What else? Celsius blew up. The algorithmic stable coin blew up, right? Everything blew up. And yet the businesses he invested in actually made more revenue. So he also understands you buy amazing assets on the cheap during a bear market. He believes digital assets are going to go from 1 trillion to 10 trillion. And that's why his fund is looking to make 10x. And he believes that crypto adoption is inevitable. By the way, how many people agree with Dan Tapiero? You think crypto adoption is inevitable? Yeah. Look, it just is. Some type of digital asset is inevitable over time. Last one I want to share with you is Yatsu. Yatsu has become a great friend. He is the chairman of Animoca Brands. Him and Dan are very close because, of course, Dan's invested in his company. We are currently, 2 of the deals we're closing right now are with Yat and Animoca Brands. So Life Beyond, the metaverse token play that only has about 25,000 left of allocation, is an Animoca play. And Open, the Web3 super app, is also one of their lead investor companies. And Yat's amazing. He is the single most important person in the metaverse, in my opinion. His $4 billion fund owns 600 plus metaverse gaming companies. And he believes that artificial intelligence, it's actually going to revolutionize Web3, and it's going to help build a $1 trillion metaverse market. Again, when I talk to Yat and when he really explains digital asset ownership, I mean, it's something to behold. When he's here, man, I have an experience just listening to this man talk. And it's an amazing thing. And to be able to be on WhatsApp with him and be trading messages and be co-investing in some of the hottest deals on the planet, I mean, that's just icing on the cake. And so again, we're really fortunate here to have access to the smartest minds in the world and to be able to give you the deal access and the information as well. So here's my recent conversation with Yat.
Why would you exist in a Web2 paradigm where you're making literally pennies on the dollar when you should be receiving your fair share of value, which is what's happening in Web3? So that is the meaning of the open universe. And if you're not in it, then I think you're really sort of not seeing where the future is, because virtual work, I think, is the future anyway.
It's not a new thing. This is just us, but now represented digitally, and it's only going one way.
Where are we spending our time? We're spending our time digitally. Owning our data, owning the derivative of our data is so critical, and people don't understand that, especially in this age of AI. Because after all, AI lives off our data. We are feeding the AI. You wouldn't have ChatGPT or self-driving cars if it wasn't for our data. And how much are we getting paid for it? Big fat zero.
You're giving away your data and someone's selling it back to you.
That trade of that data commodity has always been locked until today.
One of the things we aren't taught in school is we're not taught about money.
No, not at all.
And
it's a scandal, if you ask me. I think it's scandalous. When you onboard any person from Web 2 to Web 3, you're not just opening a wallet for them. The effective onboarding comes with financial education. That's the part that has been missing. If now billions of people have similar knowledge about financial systems, that to me becomes the antidote for financial abuse.
Do you think the fight for digital property rights is the most important fight of the human species?
What we're building is bigger than us. If you don't have property rights, you can't have freedom. If you can't have the ownership of it, then you can't predict the future for it. If you can see your future, then you can build towards it, and you're naturally optimistic. If you can't see the future, that's, I think, where trouble begins.
What do we think of Yat? You like this guy? Come on, this guy's OG. Scandalous. That's what he said. Your financial education is scandalous. The fact that you don't understand this, that you don't actually have a relationship with your money, that you're not educated when it comes to crypto assets, decentralized finance, the fact that you're not taught money in school. Was anybody here taught about money and finance in school? Right? It just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. One of my good friends, Robert Kiyosaki, wrote a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It's one of his major complaints. And Yat says the same thing. It's scandalous that we're not teaching people about their money. And we basically gaslight them into thinking that the bankers are smarter than they are. And then the bankers take all their money. This has got to stop, folks. But the only way it's going to stop is if you take control, because they're going to continue brainwashing you as long as they can, because there's so much cash at stake. And so that's why I love the blockchain market, is because it's trying to really completely change everything about the banking industry. And I worked in there long enough to know that it needs to change. And so my takeaways from Yat are the following. Web3 gives us our freedoms back, period. Ownership of digital property, it's so important. The metaverse is the future. Look at us now, folks. What are we doing right now? I mean, we're looking at a bunch of ourselves on these digital images. This is a metaverse. Zoom is a metaverse. You know, I might not, have some weird sunglasses on and we might not be driving around LA, try to beat people up or something. But like, it is a way that we're connecting. And this is the future. And so we need to embrace it. Our digital interactions are more powerful than our physical right now. It doesn't mean they should replace that entirely, but it means that we need to understand this is the way that we act in the future. Let me say one more thing about the metaverse. I was introduced to 1 billion people around the world because of digital media. Let's be clear. London Real is digital media. So the most amazing people I ever met, not to mention our team members here, people like Martini, but everybody inside the investment club, I met all of you in the metaverse, right? Most of my investment club members, I haven't actually laid hands on. I will when I see them, I'll give them a big hug. But like we have actually this amazing relationship through the metaverse. All the coolest people I've ever met in my life, I met in the metaverse, right? I met Robert Kiyosaki digitally before I met him in person. So again, let's just be honest, folks. This is the future. It's actually the now. And of course, crypto will empower the AI economy. That's really important to learn as well. So this is the things that I really wanted to share with you today. And you're probably saying, okay, Brian, this is great, but how do I create the generational wealth that I deserve, that I need, that my children need, my grandchildren need? Well, folks, at the end of the day, you've got to pull the trigger. You've got to change your behavior and do something uncomfortable for yourself. Because if you stay in your comfort zone, you're going to be exactly where you are today a year from now, right? Does anybody here want to be exactly where you are today a year from now? Raise your hand if you do. If you do, Martini will throw you off the call, because I sure as hell don't want to be the same place where I am now a month from now, let alone a year. But unless you change something and pull the trigger, you're not going to do it. And so you've got to do it. By the way, this is our first deal inside the investment club with Cross the Ages. This is right now the hottest blockchain gaming company in the world. This is Sammy Chlagu, the CEO. This was him in our studio a couple of years ago. After he was on the show, his game is blowing up and dominating all the app stores. After he was here on London Real, he got $12 million of investments from Animoca and Ubisoft. His NFTs are selling $1 million a clip out there, and we're expecting a 10x pop on his token this year, right? We have a history of success and a track record of wins right here inside London Real Ventures. So when I tell you something, it's because we know what we're talking about, and we're putting cash on the line every single day in order to make generational wealth over the next 10 years. That's what we're doing. I don't day trade crypto. I don't care what the price of Bitcoin is, honestly, month by month. All I care and all I know is that 10 years from now, we're all going to be filthy rich. That's all that matters. And that's why I do long-term behavior. I don't check the price of Bitcoin every day. I don't care, because I know where this is going and we're positioning ourselves accordingly. And so these are some of the deals. This is Dave Broom of Orange Comet. This is an AI-empowered metaverse company that's working with the biggest and hottest people in Hollywood and Hollywood franchises in the business. This is Eric Polier of Atom. Again, they're building metaverses for companies like Google, for PepsiCo, Frito-Lay, and Slack. This is Open. This is Jason Ma, who was recently in my studio. It's the hottest new Web3 super app for artists and creators. I'm literally closing this deal probably tomorrow, or maybe the next day. Again, it's something that Animoca invested in, and we're really excited. This is Dan Tapiero's fund that we're putting $1 million into his $1 billion fund. We're closing this again in the next few days. And of course, there's our OpenAI killer project that we believe will probably be the biggest company in the world and one of the most dominant AI companies out there. On top of that, this is our token play called Life Beyond, which is the metaverse where fiction becomes reality that Yat has personally invested in. So again, folks, like, we're investing money with the biggest people in the business and the smartest minds in the business. We're actually doing all of these deals right now, but I'm hoping to close them all in the next week. So if you're interested in any of these, I would highly suggest you speak to Martini sooner than later. Folks, this is our thesis. We believe the greatest way to predict the future is actually to create it. Think about that, to create it. How many people agree with me, right? Right? That's the way we do it. We don't complain about the future. We don't wish and hope. We create it. That's what we're doing right here inside London Real Ventures and London Real. We are literally manifesting our future through hard work, through connections, through broadcasting, through investing. And so if you want to be to successfully invest long-term in crypto, this is what you need. You need three things. You need education. You need mentorship. And of course, you need a community. This is really important. Nobody teaches you the third one. That's what you need. And that's why I created the Crypto and DeFi Academy. In 4 weeks, you can go from zero to hero when it comes to all things crypto, all things blockchain, all things decentralized finance. Our next course starts very, very shortly, and we've graduated over 1,000 people from this. 100 of those have gone on into our investment club are now making massive amounts of money with us behind the scenes. And we know how to teach, we know how to hold you accountable, we know how to change your behavior, and we know how to connect you with the greatest community in the world. It's by invitation only. It's 4 weeks, 4 modules, and it's your chance to be part of the greatest dislocation of wealth in human history. It's 8 hours of live calls with me personally. I'm here every step of the way. I don't do pre-recorded videos. I do modules like that, but I teach live. You get access to our online e-learning platform with over 20 different instructionals. There's a triple-tiered accountability system that makes sure you show up and do the work. It's got dedicated coaches, team leaders, and community managers to help you get there. And it's got a private group for posting all your assignments and videos. We take action every single day, folks. You'll be blown away by what you do in here. It'll seem complicated, but when you're done with my course, you'll know more than 99% of the people that I meet at crypto conferences. It's that good. It really is. And by the way, if you're on this call tonight, you've been pre-selected, and actually you can buy this right away at londonreal.tv/buy. When you do that, I got a bunch of special bonuses I'm going to send you. You'll get module 1 immediately. You'll be dropped into our community group, and the course is going to start, I think, now in about 2 weeks. This is module 1. It's Crypto and DeFi Explained. I walk you through the entire history of crypto, because we don't understand our history, we'll never understand the future. You'll actually read the Bitcoin white paper. I kid you not. You'll read the white paper written by Satoshi Nakamoto. That will help you really understand the fundamentals. You'll understand Ethereum, the DeFi summer, stablecoins, you name it. That's the first week. Second week, we don't play around, folks. You will be buying your Ethereum, your stablecoins, your altcoins. You'll learn about hot wallets. You'll set one up. You'll set up your cold wallet. You'll set up centralized exchanges, and you'll execute your first swap on a decentralized protocol. This is no joke, folks. I've graduated 15-year-old kids in high school. I've graduated 87-year-old grandmas and everybody in between. We've graduated people in over 100 countries. So we know how to get people across the line. I've started with people that can't even spell the word crypto, and we get it done. Week 3, we go even deeper into complex decentralized finance protocols, including yield swapping, liquidity pools, and you will buy an option on Ethereum and crypto. Yeah, real talk, folks. Once you're done with this, I'm telling you, you'll be up the curve. In module 4, I teach you how to trade crypto, how to manage your emotions, how to place asymmetric trades, how to put stop losses in, and I give you a sneak peek into what we're doing behind the scenes inside our investment club. We teach it all remotely in an amazing way. We've been doing this for 8 years. We've been using Zoom for 8 years. We know what we're doing to get success. And it's your choice, really your chance to just change your game and create massive amounts of wealth. LondonReal.tv/buy is the hot link that will get you right in on that course. If you join tonight, I want to give you some special bonuses. The first is a live event I did with Dan Pena at the Ritz Hotel in London, of which I was banned from the Ritz for 2 years afterwards because it was so groundbreaking, so revolutionary, and he yelled so much that they threw me out, actually. They let him stay there. But Dan is there to motivate you and get you on track to make the billions, or at least millions, that you deserve. And so this is my free gift from you. People paid a lot of money to be at this event. There were billionaires in the room, and I'll give it to you for free if you join tonight. Next, I'm going to give you Module 1 of Kings of DeFi. This is our advanced blockchain program that comes after our bootcamp accelerator. It's a 6-month program with 6 modules that teaches you everything you need to know. You will literally mint NFTs. You'll get into the metaverse. You'll learn chart reading. You'll learn advanced options trading. You'll learn how to lock in your profits, how to become an influencer, how to manage your portfolio. Everything is in here. I'll give you that for free as well. And I'll finally give you bonus module 1 of our investment club. This is where the big boys and girls are making the big money. And I'll give you module 1, which is how to directly invest via SAFs and safes, things you've never heard about it, which is probably why you're still poor. These are all bonuses if you join us tonight. But I just want to say this, my academy is not for the following people. If you're a crypto day trader, please leave the call now. You most likely lose money, and you're bad energy and bad karma for the rest of my students. If you're looking to get rich quick, please go somewhere else. Somebody out there will sell you that program, but it's not me. People that get rich quick get poor quick. I'm not looking to do that. We're here for 10 years to make massive amounts of wealth. If you want to do that, join us. If you don't, go somewhere else. If you're into meme coins and you like trolling people on the internet, go somewhere else as well. We're here for people that take action. I'm not looking for blockchain fanboys or crypto academics. Again, I'm not looking to understand the theory. I'm looking to make money off these things. And that's what I want to teach you how to do. This is a bunch of our students who love kind of what we do here. Again, we graduated over 1,000 people just over the past 2 years. Our students are raving lunatics when it comes to our course because they've had such a fantastic time learning from us. But you'll actually see it's actually an entire community really that loves what we do here. And so we're so fortunate to have people like this that love what we do. And just here's a few words from them.
It's been overwhelmingly positive. I was really surprised by how much depth Brian and his team have put into this course.
It jolted me, and perhaps is what I needed to be pushed out of my comfort zone and to face my resistance in a lot of areas in my life.
What Brian and the team produced is something special, and I'm so grateful and blessed to be a part of this journey right now.
I have learned a lot about myself, about my poor mindset, about my poor habits, about money. Nothing that I've learned here, any school or university ever teach me.
It's really pushed me. It's pushed me above and beyond what even I thought was possible. I've done a few business courses in the past, but nothing can compare to the Wealth Academy.
It has been life-changing. It's a spiritual journey, a hero's journey. This marks a turning point in my life.
It looked to me being so wide, covering so many topics, that it was just going to be like an intro course for all other programs. And boy, was I wrong.
Here you have to face your fears, dig deep within with honesty and vulnerability. Jump in the void, take action without excuses, and all aiming for the same purpose of finally changing the world to make it a place of freedom, empowerment, respect, success, wealth, and health. This is priceless.
Very grateful for everyone I've met on the course. I love you guys. This will be forever etched in my memory. It's a beautiful experience, and I would recommend this to anyone.
Lean in, face your fears, face your resistance, support your teammates. My biggest takeaway from this course was knowing that I could make an impact.
And this is by far one of the best, most well laid out and thought through courses, plus the depth of the material is just one of a kind.
So I thank you all ever so much. You're all incredible. The family is amazing. Brian is super awesome. The Wealth Academy staff and team are just so helpful and incredible.
It's worth the investment. Come with us, grow and thrive and challenge yourself, and let's build this new world together.
I recommend to everybody to start this course. Don't have any doubts, just trust the process. It's really life-changing.
Booyah, right? Some very excited people in there, right? We have so many amazing people all over the world. Like this, it's a very special place to be. We're very blessed, and it's really the community that makes everything special. That what we do here. I mean, that's really what takes the cake on top of everything else. And so, look, final takeaways is LondonReal.tv/buy if you're interested. Remember what Warren Buffett said: the best investment you can make is in yourself. Now, I can show you the hottest tokens in the world. I can show you the hottest AI deals, Web3 super apps. I can show you billion-dollar funds that are going to make a lot of money. But unless you invest in yourself, folks, I mean, this is the best investment you can make. You'll get 100,000x return if you invest in your own education, get yourself around a successful peer group, stop hanging around with the losers that you are right now. Sorry, that's what my mentor would say. And invest, get yourself in the right peer group with the right network, with the right mentor and the right education. That's what's going to change your game, folks. You're not going to be able to read a book and do this. You're not going to be able to listen to a podcast and do this. You have to be submerged in a community of winners that are getting wealthy. That's the only way you're going to be able to change your game going forward. These are Martini's details. I highly recommend you book a call with her, or if you're serious about joining us, or if you have questions about our investment club and some of the investments that I mentioned, you can see her here. She's got ways you can book calls with her, or DM her, or even email her as well. But as we always say with Martini, whatever you do, don't waste your time. Make sure you're serious about joining, say, the investment club, or you're serious about joining the Crypto and DeFi Academy. Otherwise, don't waste your time, because she's literally working 24/7, trying to talk to all the people that want to get into what we're doing right now. And again, this is just one part of your Wealth Academy journey. We have a wealth accelerator. We have a crypto and DeFi accelerator. We have our Kings of DeFi advanced blockchain course. And then, of course, we have our investment club if you want to fly private. That's what we do here. Wherever stage you are, we can help you in that stage. But if you really want to go on a journey of wealth, we pretty much got you covered. And you want to surround yourself with people that are actually doing it, which is us. And again, what is your why, folks? If you have a strong enough why, anyhow is possible. If you really care about the people around you, if you really want to make a difference in their life, you'll find a way how to join our program. That's it. You will. You can make it happen if they're important and your future is important. If nothing's important, there's no reason in the world that would ever make you join it. There's nothing that will get you to join it. So tap into what is your why and find a way to make something happen that's going to change your future. For these guys, I'll do pretty much anything. So tap into that, and we're here for you when you want to join. Would love to go to questions and answers right now. Was that helpful for anybody here? Did you learn something today that might have changed your view? Good. Just pull the trigger and take action, folks. And again, I'm very serious about the peer group. If you surround yourself with people that are investing in billion-dollar companies, that are going into big blockchain protocols, that are going to the conferences, that are doing TED Talks, that are writing books that are going to be New York Times bestsellers, this describes people in my academy. You're going to win too. But if you're hanging out with your normal friends and family, who for them a big win is going to the pub on a Friday, that's not going to get you to where you need to be, right? Does everyone know what I'm talking about? You need to get around high performance people doing high performance stuff. Otherwise, you're never going to be able to do it on your own. And that's what we offer here on the inside. Look, we've got Martini here, and I feel like we might as well get her to jump in here and talk to you about next steps here. So Martini, I'll just pass this over to you and let you take over.
Yes, yes. Well, hello, everyone, once again. And we are so excited and so thankful that you guys decided to take some time out of your day to spend with us. So hopefully you were able to pick up some gems that you are able to carry on with you from this point forward. But don't let it stop here, guys. The way that the trends are going and the way that life is going, DeFi and crypto are definitely going to be a way of life going forward. So you might as well adopt to it now. Okay, so when we take a look at, this life that's changing for us now, and one thing that I like to think about for myself is number one, being prepared for what's to come. But when we take a look at, for me, for example, what happened with the truckers in Canada, was it 2021, we all know what happened with the truckers, right? And so one thing that I have found is that when people are wanting to control things, the first thing that they're going to go for is your money. The first thing that they're going to want to go to is those pockets and those purses. So you want to make sure that you have a different avenue to make sure that you and your family and your loved ones are prepared, are secure, and, also build some wealth along the way. And the way that I'm seeing it with being tapped into this community, crypto and DeFi is definitely the way. So we want to support you on your journey to experiencing, financial independence, financial freedom, and building generational wealth along the way. And if you are wanting to get started with us, the Crypto and DeFi Academy is definitely the way to go, as well as our investment club. So I put some links inside of the chat here. So if you want to look down and take a look at the chat, the first link that I have is for those of you who are interested in joining us in the Crypto and DeFi Academy. There's a link there for you guys to go ahead and take a look at what you're going to be experiencing for the next 4 weeks. It doesn't matter where you're at on your journey. If you are brand new, this is definitely going to support you. And we have found that there are some people who have been in the crypto and DeFi game for a very long time, and they are really getting some gems as well. So once again, it doesn't matter where you are in your journey. We are here to support you and help you evolve. If you do have any questions after you've taken a look at the Crypto and DeFi Academy page, go ahead and book a call with me. I know that Brian's got us spread out all throughout the land with different time zones. So if you don't see a time that's available on my calendar, please go ahead and send me a private message on Facebook and or email. So Facebook is always the fastest way to get a hold of me because I am a millennial, but email always works too. But like Brian said, I am busy. I I am all around the clock. So if you are looking into booking a call with me, please make sure that you're serious. I only want to talk to people who are ready to pull the trigger, but you just got a couple of questions before you join us. I don't want to talk to people who are playing busy. I don't want to talk to people who are talking about signing up months from now. I don't want to talk to people who are talking about sponsorships. Absolutely not. I just want to talk to people who are serious in wanting to pull the trigger now, but just have a few questions. So we're definitely looking forward to supporting you on your journey. We will be supporting you every single step of the way and beyond. And like Brian says, we plan on being together for the next 10 years. So why not start now? All right, guys, we will see you on the inside. And back to you, Brian.
Good stuff. Give it up for Martini. All right, for being here and being all things amazing. She's running our incredible communities here and investing alongside of us, etc. Yeah, if you can book a call with her, fantastic. But whatever you do, just don't waste her time. A bunch of comments here. I appreciate everybody joining in. A lot of people feeling the same way about the metaverse. A bunch of people are asking me about a bunch of deals that are going on here. A bunch of people pretty impressed with people like Yat and Dan Tapiero, and of course, Yusko as well. People agree scandalous by design is the way that finance is related. And look, folks, this is going to be perpetuated unless we do something about it. The best thing you can do is not to complain or talk about this, doing this, is to make change inside yourself, right? If you really want to do this, you have to change. And again, not to tell your friends and family to do it, but you do it. If you start using this, if you start investing, if you start understanding and using crypto, trust me, your friends and family will start asking questions of you, and then you could start bringing them on the journey. So again, change always starts first with you. We've got an amazing, amazing group of people. We're very selective on who comes with us, but if you have the right energy, we'd love for you to join us. So that's what I'd have to say, folks. Stay frosty out there, be aware. And again, when everything's quiet, make sure that you're working hard every single day, disciplined, ready for that pop, because they say what? Fortune favors the brave. And there's, I think, a famous quote that someone said, the harder I work, the luckier I get. Anyone ever heard that? The harder I work, the luckier I get. Story of my life. So we're working hard every single day. Trust me, when Bitcoin starts running again and gunning and going to the highs, it's going to be too late for you to join, because everyone and their mother is going to be dumping into this market. Now is the time to do it. So thanks, folks. I look forward to seeing you on our next Crypto and DeFi Academy. I look forward to seeing you inside our investment club. I look forward to seeing you create that generational wealth that you deserve. All right? Don't believe the narrative that you were sold since a little kid, that you deserve to be poor and that only wealthy people, only rich people get wealthy because they're lucky or they're special. No, that's not true. It's all of your birthright. You've just been brainwashed out of that concept. So unwash your brain, get with the right peer group, and go for the big win. That's what I would say. All right, folks, lots of love. Look forward to seeing you in the future. Have a wonderful evening. Bye.